Welcome to the valley.
Hello everybody, my name is Tandile Koki and I'm joined by the hunk, the handsome, the intelligent and the spiritually inclined husband.
Hello everyone, my name is Gosnati Koki. It's good to have y'all. Welcome to the Valley. We're excited if you're new. Welcome to the Valley. And okay, thank you. Welcome to the Valley. Like, subscribe, share. This is a home for you, whether you're in the season of a mountain, great times, but also to share moments of the valley where things are not as great. Maybe things are not going as according to the plan. But we are here just to say, hey, we are all in the valley and God does the mighty things, not only in the mountaintops, but also in the valley. Come on.
So today we are basically talking about, this is a topic I think a lot of people have asked us, just the perks of marrying young, as well as the downside of marrying young. So Sandra, what would you say? Like, first of all, why decide to marry young?
I think for me, the reason for marrying young is just the integrity part. I think my reason was quite, it exposed a lot of things because you got pregnant and I was like, okay, you know what?
You keep coming back to this event.
But for me, it was like, okay, you're pregnant. I need to step up as a man. But also, I don't want my kids to be, we can't be living together with our kids, separated or whatever the case is. So you're out there and I'm doing my own thing. So I was like, you know what, let us come together, let's get married and join the household. And so that was the main reason. But outside of the fact that I loved you, I think,
of course.
I think the biggest thing also was that even taking that step, it required a lot of faith because I didn't have everything. I didn't have the money, I didn't have the intellectual capability to know what a husband looks like. I saw it, but I think I was too young at that stage to say, hey, let's take that step. And so faith was required.
Amazing. Wow, like that's so wise. I think for some people it might be like a shocker to be like, your number one reason was integrity to get married. I mean, usually the reasons we hear in the world are, you are so in love, you're so in love, you couldn't live without her. That's not. Or like, you want to settle down. That's the other one, it's time to settle down.
It's time,
But you are saying your number one reason to marry young was because you wanted to live an integral life. Great. And like, what informs that?
Sure.
Like, what informs the fact that, okay, because hello, you weren't really living an integral life before. For the mere fact that you are a Christian and you got a girl pregnant out of wedlock. So like, what informed that decision? Was it because now the life I'm living, actually people can see it, so let me cover it up by making it look holy? Like, what was the reason?
Sure, man. I think what you just said now actually hits on a lot of the conversations I have with guys that are in a season where they have made their partners pregnant, and they're in a season where they're looking to marry, not sure, asking me questions, asking us questions. And I think even the question, the way you phrased it, it says you are not integral because you were living a life of, you made a girl pregnant. And I'll say to you, no, actually I was. There were many parts of my life that I lived a life of integrity. It was just one part or one season where I wasn't as strong, didn't have the accountability, or maybe I did, but didn't really communicate that to other people. And I think I
think that's important. Sorry to cut you. I think I want to understand, what do you view as integrity? Because integrity is not what, let's define integrity. It's right doing the thing even when no one else is watching.
Yes. So what I'm saying to you is that there's an aspect of your life.
Yes, I'm saying that I understand what you're saying, that not your whole life you were living in this way, but you had particular struggles in this particular aspect of your life.
Sure.
That then compromised your integrity on this particular thing.
Correct.
Not that you as a man, you don't have integrity.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Your question, that's why you have to phrase your question in that sense. Because for anyone else that's receiving that question, they'll be like, yo, man, because I made my girlfriend pregnant, or because I'm pregnant as a woman, I don't live a life of integrity. It's like, no, if you're a person of faith, there's aspects of you that you struggle with, and you have your devotion, you love God, but maybe you're carrying a burden, maybe you're struggling with this, and so I say, maybe the phrasing of the question can be like, oh, okay, how could you live your life in this way, knowing that aspect of your life you weren't living in the fullest integrity? You get what I mean? And so to answer your question, I think for me, it was a thing that I think I took on that life. I loved it.
Which life is this?
The life of not being in integrity in that aspect.
Okay.
I think I made the excuses. I'm young. I love you. I want to do whatever I want when it comes to my sexuality and how I see things. But growing up in the faith, it's kind of like, oh, okay, sure. How can I say that I love God, but I'm continuing to do this in this way? And so to make that distinction, to say, okay, now I'm stepping up as a man to say, you know what, God, I repent. I'm going to fully fear you. And I think it goes back to, I think it's Mark 13 or 12, where Jesus is asked, what are the biggest commandments? What are the laws that we have to, truly follow? And Jesus says there are 2 commandments. Number 1, love your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all your strength. And the second one is to love your neighbor as yourself. And I think there's moments as a Christian, because I am a Christian, is that maybe I'm not loving God with all my heart, all my mind, and all my strength.
Yeah.
I'm giving parts of Him. And so when I made that decision, I said, God, you know what? I'm not only repenting, but I want to showcase to myself, but also to you, that I love you through this act of integrity.
That's amazing, Sandra. And I'm very proud of you always. I think with our relationship, there's aspects of it where I view you as a brother in Christ. And I think this is one of the times when I look at you and I'm like, yo, as a brother, like, I'm so proud of you and the steps that you have made. As a young man, you're very, very young, to say, you know what, because you could have said, oh, I'm going to turn around and do that internal work with just God, and you didn't have to, like, say, God, I want to honor you like so much that I actually want to marry this girl whom I love.
Sure.
And
Sure.
I want to make sure that the family that you had in mind when you created us, that it's fulfilled. So
Can I step in? I think also it's a trap, because I think in many churches the cycle is, okay, you made your partner pregnant or you pregnant. Initially, I think in many churches that I know of, they say, oh no, automatically you must be married, and I disagree. And so I think that step of honor has to come with a lot of wisdom and guidance. Just because
internal first,
because you never want to get into a covenant relationship.
Sure.
And you're like, I don't see this going far. You are forced, And so I also want to speak to those people that are in that valley at the moment, to say, you know what, maybe I don't love this person and this is the situation we're in, but how can we move forward? And I think these are the steps that you have to say, okay, I need to reach out to other people, my father, mother, family members, people in my community. And I think if you are a believer, if you are a believer, your church is definitely one of the places you can reach to, and not just your own local church. There is a global church, people that are out there, not only through podcast and media, but people that are in business that have maybe gone through the same thing and can tell you and guide you the best way forward. Just wanted to add that.
Nice. I think that's very important. I think especially for churches I'm not sure, I think you've had more experience in the Western mostly influenced church than I, but I do know from growing up that abantu abasindisiweyo, people who are saved, elokishini specifically, there's a lot of of like, oh, umzalwane, you gotta go pregnant.
Sure.
Clearly this means you guys must get married. I have to be one night stand. You don't even know if...
My God.
You don't even know what the real relationship.
A whole connection.
And then we end up in these covenants that one, you don't even want to be in, right?
Yeah.
And also God has not blessed and ordained, because obviously the state of your heart is nowhere near to submitting to God in that covenant.
Sure.
So I think that's a very important point that you've raised. I think also I want to speak about how, or like the challenge that men have in church. I mean, you've been in a church where they had like great leadership structure, you grew up in that, you know, and then you also were in a church where that was not really there that much.
Sure.
But in both of these churches, like, well, not in both, because you came to the other one having already repented, but in the one church where it looks that like it's the ideal situation of why is it hard? I think it's men, when I pick it up in the church, for them to fully like account to whether it's their leaders or whatever, like, or like submit. I don't know if it's submit or it's account, but there's something that as men, I think Nina, it gets a bit hard to crack inside of really what is going on in this brother's heart.
Sure.
Whereas when I look at girls or ladies, I guess also because we are more emotional than men, you guys are still very emotional, but in the way that we are designed, women tend to, you know, have a bit more emotional connections with themselves. And so I think sometimes it does play a part in them easily being able to be like, okay, upfront about what's happening internally.
Sure.
Just for you, I know you can't speak for all men because not all men are the same.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest reasons, I mean, there are many, but I think I'll speak on 2 or 3. One of them, I think, just comfortability. I think for men, even in a general sense of you know, there's a lot of breaking of barriers that needs to go before I am transparent about you. Men are very good at making relationships, but getting deeper takes a lot of time. So for us, we'll meet one day, oh man, this guy, hey, I even remember, you know, growing up, I'm like, every single day I have a new friend, you know. Like, I'm like, why do you have friends? Who's this guy? What is his name? Like, he doesn't know, you know, but he has friends all the time, every single day. So I'm like, as I think as males, we just have this thing we connect, and it's easier to connect. Whereas for ladies, and I think I just experience with now, it takes a while. You know, there must be an aroma. There must be so I'll say it's easy to connect. You know, you can be great with men, but it takes a lot of time to break down the barriers. And I think because of men generally have a lot of scars that we hide. Not that there's more scars with ladies or less scars than us or whatever, but there's more scars that we hide because of not only the perception of society to say, hey, man, you can't have scars, you're a man, you got this, but also the perceptions we have of ourselves to be like, hey man, I gotta grow up, I gotta do this. So you push and you shove away all the things inside you, and then one day it comes out in whatever way. In many ways, it comes out as alcohol, sex, and all these crazy things. And so, to answer your question, that's one of it. It takes a while. Number 2, submitting, especially to spiritual leaders, also takes a while because of generally men. It takes a time to submit. Men, it's tough for men to submit because already we are genetically, we are leaders, we are people who take, you know. So for me to listen to another man and follow that man, it would really take a lot, you know. And so accountability, even in that sense, takes time to say, even not only am I saying I'm following you, but it means that I'm laying down everything to you and I'm shining it a light to you, and I want you to guide me. And I think the third one, I think it's also personal. I think wherever a man is in their life, I think the younger they are, it's easier. The older they are, it's a bit tougher, depending where they're at. And I think just as men in general, and the climate that we're in, because you're older, you think you know more. Maybe this is not just a men thing, maybe this is also a ladies thing, but because you're older, you think you know more, you have more accolades, there's more money, there's more experience. Whereas when I was younger, for instance, it was a bit easier to submit in that sense. And I think those are the 3. I'm sure there's more, but those are the top 3 that I can think of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, This is a conversation time. I'm not interviewing you.
Nah, I love the questions. I am. So I'm going to ask you, marrying the man that you married at a young age as well. Tell me, how did you navigate that? Knowing that I'm young, we are both young.
I'm older than you.
We are by 1 month. It doesn't count.
Weeks actually.
Huh?
It's like weeks now.
3 weeks.
1 month.
Yeah. How did you find navigating? No, this is a better question. Ooh. As ladies, when you marry a man, you want a leader. You want someone that's gonna lead you. So knowing the space that I was in, that we have kids, how did you navigate? Did you see me as a leader? How did you navigate marriage as a young wife? Oh man. No.
Guys, it was tough for me. I will not lie. I have a very strong personality, right?
I think you are underplaying it. Strong. Very.
That's what I just said.
No, you didn't say very strong. You said strong.
Okay, I have a very strong personality, guys.
You can say it with pride.
Come on, man. I have a very strong personality and I'm very sure of myself, okay? And that's something that was instilled in me from a very young age. And I think I was raised to be a leader. I was raised to just lead, Whenever I got into spaces, I don't know, people gravitated towards me, and I would also just be like, oh, I can do that. I was never shy from just doing what needed to be done. So with that being said, that's the backdrop.
Sure.
The other thing, I think marriage is there to make us, I know, it is there to make us holy. So there are aspects that God knows ngawe, that uthandile, in this regard, she needs to be sanctified, okay? We need to take the world out of her since she's no longer in the world. So I think, I didn't say I was a feminist, but I was moving in a way of I remember I was talking to your former pastor and I was saying, this Bible, it puts women down, why must women submit? But obviously I didn't have the Holy Spirit and I didn't understand the scriptures and didn't understand the context of which the Bible was talking about that. So yes, there was the whole being woke and in the sense of the world, women and therefore men, kind of like men are your enemy type of vibe. And then also the fatherlessness, the lack of father figures in my life.
That's huge.
Yeah, that was
huge. Yeah. No, in fact, I think it's fatherlessness. It really, I think if you're in a marriage and there's your partner, or maybe even both of you, or in a position where your background is fatherlessness or one of the parents, I think honestly you're already in you're crutching in a way.
Yeah.
And I think I experienced that even from when, just to see when your fatherlessness was a huge impact in our marriage. Yeah, go deeper. Women of God, go deeper.
But yes, fatherlessness, and when you don't know something, you don't necessarily know what you're missing out on. So now when you show up, one, you play your fatherhood or you play out your fatherhood and I see you and I'm like, dang, okay, this is what it's kind of supposed to be like. And also being at your parents' house, because for the first 3 years we are on and off in that house, trying to find our feet. And seeing your dad and him play out his fatherlessness unapologetically, that man.
You mean his fatherhood?
Yes, did I say fatherhood?
Yeah, you said fatherlessness.
Sorry, I meant his fatherhood. That man, he's the epitome of a father. He will show up for his kids. If he has to wake up at 3 a.m. to drive us somewhere, he will do it. He's like, this is my duty as a father, I will do it. and he took great pride in that. And you would think, I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. But that hit a nerve for me, you know. It was really hard to see a present father and to experience a present father. I was pushing against it because I'm like, I'm old, like, who are you to come in now and tell me, like, you're not my dad, type of stuff, you know?
Sure.
So it was hard, and there were moments where I would look at your relationship and I'd be like, yo, I would envy it. Like, man, you know, I wish my dad cared enough to, like, my dad cares, guys. I'm not saying my dad doesn't care about me, that he doesn't love me, but there was a point and a part of him that was absent from my life, just as an emotional support, just physically being there. Yeah, but so he was not all the way present, but he loves me. I know that. So just like watching me, him being there for you, him sacrificing for us, him, like putting his life, his everything on the line to make sure that we're good. So that really, it struck a nerve, and I think instead of me saying, yo, Gosnati, these are the ways this is triggering me, that I'm hurt, I kind of just blamed you for like my own fatherlessness. You know? I kind of took the anger of, why wasn't my dad in my life in this way?
Sure.
My dad has never seen a single game of me playing at school. He doesn't even know what school I'm in. You know,
Sure.
like, he doesn't know anything about my life, to be fair. So to see that play out, hey dog, like, it was hard. It was a constant reminder of what I didn't have.
Sure.
It was just like, you know, at my wound. And at that time, I didn't realize, because in the world I was masking with, oh, I'm a feminist, I don't need a man. In fact, I've made it in life, and I'm in university, I got all of this and this and this without my father. So I don't need him.
Sure.
So I think the majority of my singleness was me avoiding the impact the absence of my dad had on me. And now I was forced to confront it. And that's what marriage does a lot. It forces you to confront a lot of things that you were like, oh, it's not important, I don't have to deal with that, you know. And then when you come into covenant, God is like, you're not going anywhere.
Sure.
I'm gonna make sure that I bring these things up to surface, definitely, so that you heal. Because you don't know that you're sick until you're like, why did I respond in that way? I know I said a lot of things, Tyler, but